So we're just going to go into it. Others will join in later, and the replay will be made available on the group so others can be a part of it. So it seems like that was the topic that caught. In fact, when I dropped that poll on the group, I was actually expecting that navigating screen time, how do I navigate screen time with my children? I actually thought that that would be the main topic, but I was really surprised that this was the topic that was getting all of the votes. Just immediately I put up the poll. So it's something that everyone is going through in their homes, right? You are not alone. That struggle is not peculiar to you alone. So it should give you a little bit, just a little bit of comfort, knowing that this particular struggle is not peculiar to you alone, but there is also that knowing that I can do better. I can actually parent without yelling. It is possible. And that is why we are here today, to actually learn things that we can do to help us on our journey of parenting. So I would like you to know that it is possible. You can parent with calm. Yes, it's okay to know that this particular challenge that I'm having, many other parents have that challenge. It's okay to know that, but I don't want you to be comfortable in that space and say that, please, it is normal. Everybody must yell. It is normal. Let me just rest and know that this is a normal thing. We can't change it. No, you are being intentional by wanting to know how you can actually parent without yelling. And the truth is, it is possible. It really is possible to parent without yelling. So let's move on into the slides that I have for you today. The first thing I will want you to know, I always say this whenever I have to talk about parenting, whenever I have to teach about parenting. Parenting is not about perfection. It is about making progress with your children. It is not about you being that perfect parent. I am even as a parenting coach that I am, I do not pose myself to be a perfect parent because we are in an imperfect world. We are prone to mistakes. Things can happen. You can make mistakes on your parenting journey. Our children are not perfect. We, the parents, we are not perfect. But the most important thing is that we are making progress with our children. We see a need in this area in their lives. We are being intentional to know, what can I do differently? How can I be there for my child? How can I help my child overcome this challenge? So it is progress over perfection. Parents need to deal with that pressure of perfection. There is that pressure, that silent, unspoken pressure of perfection. It is there with parents. It is there with the children, especially if you are parents that are prominent, like in the limelight. Maybe you are leaders, maybe leaders in church or leaders in a group in church. There is that silent pressure that is always on you to be perfect. I want to be the perfect mom. Pastor's child. What would they say? No. How can I do like this? I'm the part. No. Take away that pressure from your parenting journey. It will do you a lot of good to take away that pressure from your parenting journey and just begin to deliberately make progress with your child. You see that your child is lacking in this area, you are stepping in with skills, with knowledge to help your child. So it is progress over perfection. I want to start with this and just put that out there. It's not about being that perfect parent, right? So let's move on. Now, when it comes to yelling, what did I do? I want to take it back. When it comes to yelling, let me go all the way. When it comes to yelling, there is what is responsible for it is usually one of these four things. It can be attributed to one of these four things. And that's why it's in a cycle, right? You keep going round in that cycle of yelling. You yell today, you try to do better, but before you know what's happening, you are back in that cycle. You yell to tomorrow, you try to do better. Before you know what's happening, you are in that cycle. The reason we yell as parents is due to one of these four factors. The first one is a poor state of mind. If you were in the webinar we had for last month, where we looked at healing the inner child, reparenting yourself, you know, we didn't say anything about the child. We didn't look at the child because that's not where parenting starts from. Parenting starts with you, the parent. Now, if you are in a poor state of mind, if you have so much pressures, that's why I started by saying, take away that pressure of perfection, wanting to be that perfect parent, because that puts a lot of pressure on you. So if you have a poor state of mind, if you are not in a good mood, if the pressures of daily living is weighing you down, there is traffic, you get to work, the workload is choking you, salaries doesn't come as at when due, the prices of things in the market is hiked, there is just all of that pressure. This one is pulling me on this side, asking me for money. This one is pulling me on this side, telling me to pay bills. If you are in a poor state of mind on your parenting journey, you will yell. You have the tendency to just, by the time you get back home, pour out those frustrations on your children. You have that tendency when you are in a poor state of mind. And that is why we teach that concept of reparenting yourself, of actually doing a groundwork in yourself. So many years ago, I had to get to a state when I was working a 9 to 5. I got to a point where I told myself, I said, you know what? By the time I'm coming back from work, I want to deliberately just drop the pressures, all the pressures that I had during the day, all the pressures of work, everything, just in front of the door. I want to just drop it. And I was doing it deliberately. I tried to do it deliberately many years ago. And so when I get to the front of my door, I just do that. Like, I'm removing all of the pressures and I just want to get into the house and let my children receive the best of me, not the tired, overwhelmed, stressed out part of me. Yeah. So it's something that you need to consciously do, because sometimes when we just get to the house and you see the house in a mess, or you see that chores have not been done, or you see that homework, you have that tendency to just lash out. So it is something that you have to work on yourself. That's why a lot of the job on parenting, it is about you. There is nothing wrong with your child. It is about you. You need to deal with your emotions. You need to work on yourself, not to just pour out your frustrations on your children. So when you have a poor state of mind, that can lead to yelling. When you lack effective strategies, that can lead to you yelling. What are the effective strategies? In the parenting coaching space, we have systems that need to be put in place in your home. Those things need to be set. Children thrive on routines and structures. They thrive on routines and structures. So there need to be effective systems and strategies in place in your home. When you don't have that in place, you will yell. You will yell. When the children don't know what is expected of them, when I get back from school, what is it I should do? Think about the school system. Think about when the children are in school. Sometimes we go to our children's school and we're like, this child can just sit down quietly like this, and be listening. One of the reasons it is that way is because the school system is structured. It is structured. The children know when they are having their lunch break. They know when they are going outside. They know when they are going to do their work. They know when they are going to have group activities. It is structured, and they consistently do follow this structure every day. They consistently follow these routines every day. So that is one of the reasons you will find that your children seem to be all put together when they're in school, So that you need to create something of that structure in the home. When we don't have effective strategies in the home, you will yell because you will come back and you will meet that this was not done, this was put in the wrong place, this was out of place, this person was playing when he was supposed to be reading. You will yell when those systems are not in place. We are looking at the reasons why we actually yell. The third one is when there is a lack of parent-child connection. So parent-child disconnection. When there is that disconnect, you will yell. Children always are looking for attention. They are seeking your attention. So it doesn't matter if they are doing something negative just to get your attention. They will do it to get your attention. So when there is that disconnect, you are not connecting with your child. It is more about, in some homes, you find that what obtains there is just instructions, corrections, judgments. There are no conversations. So there is no connection. Connection is very, very key, is one of the fundamentals for positive discipline, connection. And so when there is that disconnect, you would find that the children are trying to connect with you one way or the other. They're trying to get your attention. It doesn't matter if they break something, they spill water, as far as you will now give them some attention. Children always want that connection. They always want that attention. And so if it means them getting it through a naughty way, sometimes you actually see a child do something naughty and he's there looking at you because he knows that he has gotten your attention. You will now look to my direction. So when there is that parent-child disconnect, you are bound to yell. You are bound to yell. Then the next thing we have here is a lack of skills. We're looking at why we actually yell. A lack of skills. when children, that's why I'm very, very big on teaching children skills. When I have programs for children, like I'll be having one in August for children during the long holidays, I usually have that. I teach them skills, social skills, emotional intelligence skills, executive functioning skills. I teach them skills because as you teach children skills, you are helping them to be more organized. You are helping them to use their prefrontal cortex, their thinking brain. You are helping them to engage their thinking brain. There are so many ways we can teach children skills. I will get to that much later. Okay, so you would find that when children lack these skills, you will yell. Some children lack the skills of, concentration, focus, coordination, just like, oh, we are in a place. Can you just try to sit quietly? They lack that because they have not been taught. They lack that skill of maybe doing something in the kitchen. Before you know what's happening, they have spilled something, they have broken something. They have not been taught how to do those things without causing damage. Sometimes we expect from our children things that we have not actually taught them. Maybe if it's things in the house, maybe things in the home. For example, washing plates. Sometimes you just expect that your 9 to 10-year-old or 8-year-old will just know how to wash that plate without breaking it. But we haven't actually taken the time, not once, not twice, taking the time to actually teach how it is done. When you wash it, it is soapy, it can slip from your hand. So you need to first of all rinse it before you try to move it. We haven't taken our time to actually teach some skills. Children that are not big on skills, that lack skills, these social skills, that we need to teach children boundaries from as little as six, even 5. We need to teach them social skills, how they should relate with people outside. It is one skill I am very, very big on. Boundaries with my children. Respect other people's space. Don't be just everywhere. Don't just play. It's not everybody that wants to play your kind of play. We need to teach these skills. If we have not taught them these skills, they would likely do things that will make us yell. So this is the cycle of how that yelling thing go, from a poor state of mind to a lack of effective strategies, parenting strategies and systems in the home, to a disconnect, to the parent-child disconnect, to the lack of skills. These are the things that actually cause us to yell. So now let's move on and look at the effect of yelling. Sometimes if we understand what this yelling actually does to our children, the effect of it, if we understand it, we may be more intentional to watch it when we are being pushed, by their actions. We will be more intentional to watch it when we know the effect of this yelling on our children. Now, the first effect I have here is that you are wiring your child to get used to yelling. Have you been to homes or have you seen people, maybe siblings, where they don't speak calmly? As in, yelling is the order of the day. And when you tell them that you are yelling, just reduce your voice. They'll be like, no, I'm not shouting. Oh, this is how I talk. Oh, no, this is how we talk in our house. So confirm to me in the chat. Have you met people like that? Let me go to the chat. Just let me know. Let me know if you know people like that, or just confirm to me that yes, I get what you are saying. I am here. Just confirm. Let me read from you in the chat. Let me read from you in the chat. Have you met people that, you know, they are wired to yell? Their normal conversation, their normal indoor voice is loud, is loud. And when you tell them that, hey, reduce your voice, you are yelling. It's like, I'm not yelling. I'm not. This is how I talk. You know? This is how I talk. No, no, no. I'm not yelling. I'm just talking normal. One of the effects of yelling at your children is that you are wiring the child's brain to get very, very accustomed to yelling. This child will not know what it is to just speak calmly. You are just getting that child to be so accustomed to yelling. You are wiring the child's brain to see yelling as a normal way of conversation. That is one of the effects that you would just see. It is like a conditioning. Remember the last webinar we looked at the brain, and we looked at how that some of these things actually impact on the brain. So constant yelling at your child, you are configuring that child's brain. Sometimes some parents will say, this child does not hear. He does not hear word except I yell. It's only when I yell that he will hear. It's because you've been through that cycle over and over and over again. Yelling has now become a thing for you, and your child is now accustomed to yelling. So if the child doesn't get that yelling from mommy, it's like mommy is not yet serious. No, the thing is not yet serious. When it gets to that high pitch, then I will know that mommy is now serious. So unconsciously, what you are doing to your child is that you are wiring the child's brain to get used to yelling. Let's move on to the next effect. Your children start yelling at each other. This one, please, somebody should confirm to me. Confirm to me. Somebody said, yes, that's me and my siblings while growing up. They can't talk loud. I know that one for sure. Somebody please confirm to me. If you yell, have you heard your children talk? Talk to each other, and then you'll be like, I know where that came from. Kai, that is me. That sounds so like me. Confirm to me in the chat, please. Let me read from you in the chat. Confirm to me. Have you heard your child do something or say something, and then you are like, man, see how this child just said it just the way I would say it. See how this child just yelled at her sibling just the way I would say it. That is another effect that you would just see readily. You would just see it playing out before your eyes. When you yell, because children will do what they see, not just what you say. You are their model. You are every day as you are walking, going around, doing your thing in the house. You are the moving model that they see, that they know. They will do what you do, not just what you say. They will do what you do. They will replicate it for you. So one of the effects you would see is that they begin to yell at each other. And if you also add beating and spanking, they begin to beat and spank each other. They begin to do that. You will just see it, that they start yelling. And sometimes when you look at that, it doesn't, for me, I don't like it. When I see that, I don't like it. I'm like, oh my God. And sometimes this modeling can actually be from somewhere else. It may not be from the home. It may be from a friend. It may be from a friend at school. It may be from teachers at school. But children pick these things. They would start doing it. They would start yelling as well. They would start raising their voices as well to each other. Your children will begin to do the same thing. Now let's look at the next effect. The thinking brain is not being exercised. If you were at the last webinar, we looked at the child's brain. We looked at the emotional part of the brain, the amygdala and the limbic brain, you know, the part that is responsible for the emotions. And then we also talked about the prefrontal cortex, and that is the part that is responsible for, you know, thinking, the thinking capacity. You know, it's responsible for what we call executive functioning skills, EFS, memory, working memory, concentration, focus, planning, memory. I said that. You know, those are executive functioning skills. When you yell at the child, it affects the emotional part of the brain. That is the part that is affected. And so the child is, the child goes into that fright mode, especially when they are really young. They go into that fright mode and they are not yet used to it, because they will get to a point where they are now used to it. They'll just be there. Like, I know mommy can yell, they'll just be there. But especially when they are really young, they go into that fright mode. They are scared. It startles them. They're scared. If you think about the times when you yelled at your children, you would notice that on their faces there is this fear. On their faces there is this fear that it gives it. It's their emotional brain that is being affected, and it goes into a flight mode. You know, because when a stimulus comes like that at a child, it is either goes into that freeze or fight or flight mode. You know, it goes into that freeze mode. It can't fight you because you are daddy. For the little child, the little child can't come against you and like try to attack you. So it goes into that freeze mode or that flight mode. The child runs away. The child is scared and runs away, you know. So that affects, all of those responses are happening in the emotional brain. That is the response of the emotion. But the thinking brain, the prefrontal cortex, is not being exercised. Let me give an example. Maybe a child breaks a plate, and then you go into that yelling. Why did you break the plate? How many plates are you going to break in this house before? Yeah, okay. You know, and then you go into that yelling mode. The child goes into that freeze, flight, or fight mode, you know? He can't fight you, so he freezes or he hides. He would go to hide. He's scared. That is the emotional brain that is being affected by that yelling. Now, let me paint another scenario. The child breaks the plate while washing it, and then you come and you say, how come you broke this plate again? This is the third time. Okay, so why exactly is this happening? Okay, show me. How were you holding the plate? And then the child is trying to explain. Yes, I was washing it, and I washed it, and it was soapy. Then I was now trying to put it here so that I will now take another plate and wash. And then you are now talking to the child and say, okay, you see, that's where you made the mistake. The plate was still soapy, and then you were handling it. It's going to be slippery on your hands, and it's going to make it fall down. And so if you put it close to the edge, it's just going to slip from your hand because it is slippery, because it is soapy. You haven't rinsed it. What you were supposed to do is to first of all rinse it. Rinse it before you do any movement with that plate. You need to get the soap off. You know, when you are engaging like this with your child, you are activating, you are exercising the thinking brain. The child is now beginning to think through that process and say, oh, okay, I see. This was where I missed it. This was why the thing went wrong. This was why the plate broke. Oh, I get it now. I see. So when we yell, the thinking brain is not being exercised, it's not being activated. Rather, it's that emotional part of the brain that is being activated, and the child just goes into a scare mode. It's just afraid, or it flees to one corner and is just sulking. So, but when we apply alternative strategies with our children, like the example I just gave, you will exercise their prefrontal cortex. That is the thinking brain. And that is the part of the brain that I said it does not get fully developed till the child is about 25. So let's move on now to the next one. This one is so touching, especially if the yelling is accompanied with insults and things like that, especially when you're insulting the child with it. It becomes their inner voice. Just imagine a child getting ready for school, and it's just yelling that the child is getting, the child is just getting all of, you're not doing your homework. What is wrong with you? Sometimes mornings in the house is very chaotic, That's how some people, I've seen posts where a norm, you must shout, if you don't shout, it's because some systems are not in place, but just imagine a child waking up to that and having to go to school with that. It becomes, especially if it is accompanied with insults or why are you so slow like this? What's wrong with you? Look at your mates. They're already in school. Look at this. If it comes with all of those things, your voice to your child, it becomes their inner voice. And so they are processing it long after the incident has gone. Especially if you have a sensitive child. There are different personalities for children. There is one that is a sensitive child, what we call the dependable truck or the systematic Ford. They are really very sensitive to words. They begin to and children, because their prefrontal cortex is not fully developed, they don't understand. They can't process things properly. Children join concepts. Daddy is shouting at me because he doesn't like me. Two unrelated things, they join concepts because their prefrontal cortex is not fully developed. They don't know how to process issues. They don't know how to make meaning of things that all they do is just feel that emotional part of the brain that I said is fully formed. They just feel it all. They feel the shout, they feel the anger from daddy or mommy. They just feel it, and then they begin to join concepts. That's what children do. They join concepts. Daddy is yelling at me because he doesn't like me. Daddy is yelling at me because he has to go to work. Two unrelated things. So it becomes their inner voice, and then they process these things inside. Sometimes something would happen long ago, and then I have one that is very sensitive. I have a sensitive daughter, and then she'll say, this person said this thing to me. You would think that they have forgotten, but they're still processing it. It's still ringing in their inner voice. This person said, and the child will actually say the word that the person used, So we need to be careful, because that yelling, especially if it's accompanied with maybe insults and things that are not nice, it becomes their inner voice, and they can't process these things properly. So that's one of the effects. Now let's look at another one, the fifth one. Yelling raises blood pressure and heart rate. It does, You can. There's a lady that I know that when she yells like this, when she yells at her children, she begins to pant. She begins to pant, and I'm like, won't you take it? Won't you calm down? It's you, Gonga, that they put that child said that, mommy, be calming down. Be calming down. this one is one effect that is on the parents, right? It just stresses you out. It just gives you that imbalance in your body and it stresses you out, right? That is one of the effects that you can get from yelling and yelling and yelling. And you don't want that, you know. Parenting is a lot of work. It's not easy, but you need to give yourself grace. You also need to give the children grace. You need to extend grace to them. Sometimes parents are really, really expecting from children what they cannot deliver because they are children. Children will play, they will scatter, they will break things. You need to know these things before you get into it, you know. So this is one effect that affects us as adults, and you don't want that for yourself. You don't want raised pressures, blood pressures, and things like that. Okay. So now we are going to look at how we can do better with parenting. We can actually do better. Remember, I started this conversation saying that, yes, a lot of people picked this topic of how do I parent without yelling. It shows that a lot of people are going through that, but we can't stay at that point. We need to be intentional to want to do better, to want to parent with calm and ease. So just like I looked at that cycle of those things that cause yelling, we're also looking at this cycle. These are things that it's just like the opposite of that slide. These are things that will help you to reduce and possibly stop yelling in your home. Number one is a new parenting mindset. You need to have, that is why that concept of reparenting yourself, it is so important. It is the first module on my parenting coaching course. It is so important because it starts with you. It starts with you before we get to the child and the tantrums the child plays and the things the child, before we get to the child, you deal with yourself, right? So you need to have a new parenting mindset. You need to believe that it is possible to actually parent with calm. It is possible to actually get my child to do things without me raising my voice, and every neighbor will hear my voice in the mornings, right? It is possible. You need to heal of every form of childhood hurt, because sometimes we yell because we are trying to protect that inner child in us that has not healed. Sometimes you find that your child may be exhibiting traits that maybe your own sibling used to exhibit that you didn't like as a child. Maybe there was something that your own sibling used to do to you when you were children, and you didn't like that. Sometimes it plays out in parenting. Sometimes you will see that your child seems to be exhibiting that character that your brother had that used to make both of you fight. And so you are screaming at the child and you are shouting and yelling, will you stop this thing? Will you stop? But you are actually doing it from a place of your inner child, from a hurt in your inner child. You are actually doing it from a place of hurt because that was how your brother treated you, and you don't want that thing to show up in your children. So you're yelling. You're trying to stop it by all means, you know. So you need to have a new parenting mindset. These are some of the things that I will be teaching in my parenting training starting on the 6th. The next one is positive parenting strategies, right? Is that what is there? Positive parenting strategies. You need to have, I will talk more about, in the next slide, we'll look at some of these things. putting systems in place, having routines for your children. Remember, I said that children thrive on routines. They thrive, they do well on routines. You need to have systems and structures in place. That particular module, I am taking that particular module on systems for 2 weeks in the webinar that I'm having, the parenting coaching that I'm having starting on the 6th. I am taking that for 2 weeks because there are 9 systems in the family structure that needs to be put in place. And those are the things that each day you are teaching your child about. And it's so important to start early, to start when your children are 5. They just grow up with these things. They just grow up with these systems that we have put in place and structures that you have put in place. It gets easier when they're older, like 8, 9. They're used to the system already. So having these systems in place is one of the things I'll be teaching in my parenting training course that will be starting. Then the next one is parent-child connection. You must connect to correct. If you don't connect with your child, all you want to do is just correct. It will lead to rebellion. There is a place for connection. 2 vital things that are important, fundamentals for positive discipline is to have boundaries, consequences, systems, and number 2, connection. You must have consequences for actions. You must have boundaries. The child must know this is what is expected of me. I mustn't do this. Those things must be there, stated, clear. And then you must connect with your child. Sometimes when I want my children to do something, I will just connect with them. I'll just connect in different ways. Maybe we'll stay together, we'll just hug and cuddle, or we'll watch a movie together. And then I'll now start talking softly. You see, I don't like it when you guys just drop shoes. It just stresses me out. I don't like. I'll just start talking little by little. That's after we are bonded, or maybe we have watched a movie, or we have connected, or we have just gisted, I'll not be like, I don't like it when you guys just drop your shoes. When you get back from school, there's a place where you need to drop. Before you know what's happening, just be like, okay, mommy, let me go and drop my shoe. I'm coming. They'll just go and do that thing, So it's important that you connect. You connect to correct. You connect to correct. Right? Then the last one is to be an emotionally intelligent parent. Be emotionally intelligent. Your emotions will be tested in parenting. There are about 5 pillars to emotional intelligence. It's one of the things I would also be teaching in my parenting course. That's the second module. E in that framework, help. E is for emotional intelligence. Like if you live in Nigeria, you must be an emotionally intelligent person. If not, you'll be acting like a mad person on the street. Like it is so vital to be regulated. It is so vital. In your parenting journey, you need that emotional intelligence. You need it. That is what will not make you barge into your children's school and be shouting and go and, I will go and tear down that school. They did that to my child. They should be You are not an emotionally intelligent parent, sir, respectfully. You don't do that. What are you teaching your child? So we need to be emotionally intelligent. It's very important. So let me go now to some more tips. But all of these tips that I've written here, they can be found in that what's it called? In this framework. Every one of these more tips I want to talk about, you can fit them into one of these 4. So have a routine. Having a routine fits into positive parenting strategies, right? So have a routine. Like I said, children thrive on predictability. Just like in the school setting, I gave the example of have a routine in your house. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Morning routine, after school routine. This is what you do after school. You begin to teach them. It's not going to be magical. It's not because as you came to this webinar now, you think that tomorrow you will not yell again, or tomorrow you will just get it right. It's not magic. There's no magic wand in parenting. Parenting is a process. It's a process, and you have to go through that process. It is as you sow, you reap. As you put in the work, you will see the results. It's a process. So don't even expect magic that, oh, I've done one routine this night. I did it this night. So tomorrow morning, everything will be okay. They will just do everything on that routine. It doesn't work like that. It's a process. Okay, so get that routine for I could drop samples of a routine, but it's just basic. Morning, what time do they wake up? What time do they go to bed? Sometimes children just go to bed at any time they feel like. It shouldn't be so. It shouldn't be so. They should have their times when they go to bed, have the times when they wake up, have the times when they get back from school, do homework, do this, do that. They should be structured. You need to bring a similitude of what we have in the school. You need to bring it to the home. It will help put everyone in check. There should be consequences also. If you don't do this, this is what will happen. If you don't do this, you can't have your 30 minutes screen time. If you don't do this, you are not going to go outside. They should have that known, should be predictable like that. Get help when you need it. Like I said, that poor mindset, sometimes we are really, really stressed out. Allow help to help you, right? If you need to outsource some things, just so that you are in that good frame of mind to parent your children, then do that. If you have the means to do that, if you still have very little children and you can outsource some things, oh, I can get someone to help me do this, do that, so that I have less things to do, less stress for me. Get help if you need it. Be consistent with your parenting strategies. If you have consequences in place, if you come back from school and you don't do this and this is what will happen. You won't go outside to play, or we're not going out during the weekend. Be consistent with it. Not that today you will do it, tomorrow you will yell, next tomorrow you will beat, this one, just be consistent with whatever strategy you want to put in place. Understand your personality and that of your child. It's very, very important. There is the personality of the child that we call creative convertible. Look, if you have a creative convertible for a child, that child can wear you out. That child can play and forget food. That child is not very organized. There are some personality types in children that they're very organized, that's the one that they will say is the obedient child. Oh, the obedient child. But there are some that they are not like that. So you need to understand the child that you are parenting, because the child that God gave you that you are parenting is not anybody's child, is your own child. So you need to face the child that is in front of you that God has given you to parent. Don't look at another person's child and say, why are you not like this one? See, this one is calm. Or why are you not like your sister? There are different children personalities. It's also one of the things I'll be teaching in my parenting course. The P in that help, the P for personality. You need to know your own personality and know the personality type of your child and their strengths, their weaknesses. It will help you navigate in dealing with them, especially when they get to their teenage years. It would help you when you understand the child in front of you. Understand age-appropriate behaviors. There are some, like I said before, some parents are just expecting things from children that they can't deliver because they are children. Children will play. Children will scatter. Children will explore. If you have a little toddler and then you have TV and you put it on a stand. You are not hanging it. I don't know what you are thinking. I don't really know. Or you have all these glass decoration, all these things, all these decoration that they will put on the table, all this fancy, or you have pebbles, you know, those pebbles. I don't know what you are thinking. And you have a toddler, you have a 2-year-old, and you put that kind of thing, and you don't think the child will put it in the mouth, or you don't think the child will scatter it. Then the child scatters it, then you are angry. Why? No, why are you angry? What did you expect? You know? So there are age appropriate behaviors that children exhibit. You need to know them so that you don't wear yourself out. There are some jumping is an age appropriate behavior in children from about 3 to 5 or so. Jumping. That's why in schools that know they will have all these things that children can climb on. Climbing, jumping is a normal developmental behavior. Is normal. Children will do it. So don't be there saying, why are you jumping on my couch? Why are you climbing the chair? They will climb. You should be happy because your child is actually hitting his milestones. He's climbing, he's jumping, he is hitting his physical milestones. So you should actually be happy. But when you don't know, you'll be beating the child and saying, why are you jumping? No, create an area for that child. Create another area for that child and say, hey, this is where jumping takes place. Jumping is not on the couch. You can jump here. In this area, you can jump. And they will say, oh, but it's not like the sofa. Okay, you could go jump on your bed, but when you are done, you need to arrange your bed. You know, just put something in place because jumping is age appropriate. Yeah. Teach EFS and other skills. EFS is executive functioning skills. Look, let me give you one role or task in the house that teaches almost all EFS. Guess what it is? It's cooking. Cooking. Cooking is one skill that will teach your child planning. It will teach your child memory, focus, concentration. These are EFS, executive functioning skills. You know, like if you want to go to the market now and buy some things, and then from there, you go and see a friend. You know, you just stand up and go. Just stand up, take the car key, go to the car, reverse, go to the market. Okay, I'll buy this, I'll buy this. After that, I'll buy this. Do you know a lot of things do you know a lot of skills that you have used to do all those things that you term as simple, just normal? But for a child, it's not like that. They need to learn how to plan. Okay, I want to go to the market. From the market, I'll go, okay, what do I need? I need to get the car key. I need to get the bag. I need to go to, you know, there are lots of steps. So one skill that can teach EFS is cooking. With cooking, there is planning, there is a concentration, focus, a working memory. You will find all of these things in that task of planning. So I always put my children to that skill of planning. Like, hey, what do we want to make? Okay, let's try out this recipe, fish roll. You know, you see them planning. Oh, mommy, we need this. We need this. We need to buy this. That is planning. You're teaching your child to plan that way. Okay, so we'll go and buy this and this. It's not in the house, so we'll go and buy it. Then when we come, we'll start, you know, they're learning time management as well. It's one of EFS skills, one of the skills. You know, they're learning to manage their time. I'm saying, hey, check that thing on fire. It's supposed to be there for like 15 minutes. It should be ready now. You know, go and turn it. You know, that is one thing that teaches EFS. Then have a slogan or a mantra for your child. It will help you. It would help you with your yelling. Maybe you, it is well with you. Or me, I usually would say, you would do things right. Or I would say, we start what we finish. You have started this thing and you left it halfway. We start and we finish, or we finish what we start. We finish what we start. We don't leave it halfway. Just have a mantra that, you know, your child by himself, he will be saying it. maybe you just start with the first line and say, we finish what the child will say start, then go there. Have that slogan or that mantra. Another one I would say is that you will learn. You're not going to end up like, you will learn, you will get better. When they do something that's very annoying, I'm saying that at this point is where I'll be saying that mantra, you will learn. You will not always, just have that mantra for your child. Just have a specific, based on the things that, you're trying to teach your child. It can be from scripture. I have a scripture that I would say to one of my children. I would say, as much as it lies within you, what? You say, live peaceably with all men, like give people their boundaries, just have that thing that sometimes when that urge comes for you to yell and lose it, you go with that mantra for that child. And then breathe. Be calming down. Everything will be okay. They will grow. They will not always be like that where you are yelling and yelling. They will grow. They will learn things. It is a process. It is a process. It's not going to happen overnight. They are children. They are growing. They are learning. That's why the Bible says, train in the way you should go. Training is a process. When you go to the university, you are being trained for years, before you actually become that thing. So it's a process. Breathe and say everything will be okay. So you guys are not chatting with me. Tell me, are you getting value? Are you learning a thing or two? Let me read from you. And my next slide is, we are actually done here. Yes, we are done now. I would also like to take questions if you have questions. Any question about this presentation, feel free to ask. Feel free to comment because we are done here. I really wanted us to leave for 8:30. It's 8:39 now. And then the parenting upgrade program is still open. We kick off on the 6th. It's just 20,000 naira. It's an investment for your parenting journey. There's so much that you would learn. There's so much that you would learn, taking you through that framework. There's so much that you would learn. This is very educative. My brother, thank you, my brother. Can the slides be made available to us? Yes, it can. It can. It can. Oops, it can. Thank you. So did you get value? Did you get value? Let me read from you. Did you get value from this? Did you get value from this? Get into this coaching program. We have 5 webinars within that 4 weeks, all in this month of June. It's happening on Fridays. Our webinars are all on Fridays, right? And you would have access to the replay. So if you are not able to join when the webinar is on, it's 7 p.m. every Friday, right? We'll have 5 webinars. If you're not able to join, it's okay. You will get the replay and you will have access to the replay for the rest of this year. You would have access to it so you can go back to it and listen to it. There are things that I will be working with you to create in your home. That is the systems, that particular module, that is L, Learn Family Systems. I am going to be working with you to create systems in your home that will help you, to navigate all of these things. There are 9 systems. We'll be looking at all of them, and you will be creating them, creating your family vision, your family mission. It's going to transform your parenting journey. If you want to do an installmental payment, I can work that out. Just send me a DM and we can work that out as well. So please, are there any questions? Let me see if there are any questions. The reason that group has remained closed is because of these scammers. I'm just kind of waiting for them to just go out of the group so that I can open up the group in case, there are questions, so that it's more interactive, but if there are questions, you can send them directly to me. I want to read from you. It's just one person that has sent me. I read from Deji. Let me read from you. Let me get your feedback. Did you get value? Did you enjoy this? Um, do you have any question? If there is none, then we will call it a day because tomorrow is work. So I would like to let you go. So please, if you are interested in parenting upgrades, send me a DM so that I will send you the details where you would pay into. And if you need an instrumental payment, also send me a DM. We can work that out as well. Thank you so, so much for coming. I will send the replay so that people can watch for as many that could not make the webinar. I will send the replay. I learned a lot again. Very informative. Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right, everyone. We'll call it a day right now. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining.